Thank you for joining us today. Chamberlain has been an industry partner with the Daisy Foundation since 2014, but that doesn't quite tell the story. We are their exclusive educational partner. And why is that? It's because our missions are so well aligned. We graduate extraordinary nursing students. Daisy recognizes nurses who are extraordinary and who demonstrate what we would call Chamberlain care. In 2014, Daisy recognized the importance of faculty in this process and developed the Daisy Faculty Award. And then in 2016, they implemented what is now called the Daisy Award for Extraordinary Nursing Students. I've had the privilege of knowing and working with Bonnie and Mark Barnes for many years, starting with implementing the Daisy Award at Children's Mercy, Kansas City, where I previously worked. And I am now a member of the Daisy Foundation Board, which is truly an honor. I now want to introduce Bonnie Barnes, co-founder, CEO, and board president, and Mark Barnes, co-founder and chairman of the Daisy Foundation and Patrick's father. Bonnie and Mark are joining us here today. Bonnie, as well as Mark, are honorary fellows of the American Academy of Nursing, among many other distinctions, including being the first recipients of Chamberlain's Honorary Doctorate of Humane Letters degree. Very well deserved. Bonnie and her husband Mark started Daisy to honor nurses in memory of extraordinary nursing care given to Mark's son prior to his passing in 1999. What started as a simple idea 20 years ago has transformed how nurses are recognized worldwide. And now I'll turn it over to Bonnie.
Thank you, Dr. Cox. What an honor to be able to celebrate Daisy faculty honorees with you today, and to be able to say thank you to all of you at Chamberlain University for your tremendous partnership and friendship to all of us at the Daisy Foundation. I'd love to share why we are so passionate about the work of nursing faculty and how the Daisy Foundation got involved in the academic setting to begin with. Well, our story goes back to the very end of 1999, and perhaps you heard about our son Patrick, who died of complications of the autoimmune disease ITP. As you can see in that picture behind me on the cabinet, actually two of them, Patrick was not a little kid. He was 33 years old. He and his wife had just given us our first grandchild, and 6 weeks later he woke up with some peculiar symptoms. A blood test revealed that he had a dangerously low platelet count, and so he was admitted to the hospital with a diagnosis of the autoimmune disease ITP, something my husband Mark and I had never heard of. Well, when we heard he was in the hospital, we flew to Texas where they lived and figured we'd be there for a few days to help out with the new baby, and Patrick would be home in no time at all. But tragically, that's not at all what happened. Patrick became increasingly ill, and at the end of 8 of the worst weeks of our lives, he passed away. Well, I'm sure all of you as nurses have been around families like ours. You go through this emotional roller coaster, and suddenly it was over. Now what do we do? Well, in our case, we needed to find something positive to hold on to and take into our future, something that would help us keep Patrick's very special spirit alive and would keep us focused on the good in the world, not the tragedy we had endured over the 8 weeks prior. Well, as we thought about what positive thing we had experienced in those 8 weeks, the only thing we could think of was the care of Patrick's nurses. Yes, they were clinically excellent, just as we expected they would be, especially dealing with a very complex medical condition like Patrick had. But what we didn't expect, and what truly took our hearts, was the way his nurses delivered their care. Their compassion, their kindness, their sensitivity not only to Pat, but to all of us in our family, just filled us with gratitude, and we needed to find a way, a very meaningful way, to say thank you to nurses for not only the great big life-saving things nurses do, but the little things that make such a difference when we are in their loving hands. So we created the DAISY Foundation, which stands for Diseases Attacking the Immune System, and keeps us rooted in our experience with Patrick and his nurses. And we created this concept called the DAISY Award for Extraordinary Nurses, which would invite patients, families, and coworkers to share their stories of extraordinary compassionate care that nurses provide every day without even thinking about it, and that would then celebrate and recognize those nurses for delivering on their calling in such a special way. Well, never in our wildest dreams did we imagine that now, 21 years later, the DAISY Award would be honoring direct care nurses in almost 4,800 healthcare facilities and schools of nursing. About 156,000 nurses have received the DAISY Award so far, but most important to us, just about 2 million times a patient or a family member or a coworker has taken the time to share their story and write an award nomination, a DAISY Award nomination, explaining what a difference a nurse had made to them, explaining the impact a nurse had had on their lives. So how did we end up in schools of nursing? Well, like in everything at DAISY, there is a story. We were having a board meeting years ago, I think it was 2010. And one of our board members at the time was a dean of a school in Cincinnati. And she looked at us across the table as we were talking about where DAISY needed to go in the future. And she said to Mark and me, "You know, someone had to teach those nurses who took care of Patrick." Well, this was quite an epiphany to us. We had not thought about it, but it opened a floodgate of conversation from our other board members, most of whom were chief nurse executives, who couldn't wait to share with us how complex and important the role of a nursing faculty is. And they talked about the pressures that faculty experience, those that are working still in instructing in hospitals, those who are teaching at the academic level, just across the board, adjunct, full-time, and helped us understand that yes, we had great nurses taking care of our Patrick and of us because they had great faculty taking care of them and inspiring them to deliver the kind of care that we had experienced. So it became very clear very quickly that we needed to extend the DAISY Award to include nursing faculty and celebrate the inspiration that nursing faculty provide to the future nurses of our country. And so that's why we have a DAISY Faculty Award. And we're very, very honored to be able to share in this presentation today to celebrate those special faculty members that you heard recognized or you will hear recognized shortly. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Wow, where'd you come from, Mark? So glad you could join us.
That's the magic of video, is what does that. Well, I just wanted to add a few things. First of all, being a lot older and wiser than I once was, I agree with everything that Bonnie says.
Aw.
It works much better at home that way. But in this case, I really, really, really do. We are so honored and proud to be a partner with Chamberlain and to work with you, not only with Dr. Cox, but with all of the people that we have met at Chamberlain, and particularly the faculty. You are an incredible group of professionals, the way you prepare your students not only for careers in nursing, but to be citizens of this world. And I just cannot thank you enough for allowing us to be with you. So I would like to say, wear your pin proudly. You have now joined a very exclusive group of people throughout the world, nurses, students, faculty, who are the very best of what their profession calls for. So once again, thank you. Wear your pin proudly. You deserve it. You are an incredibly great group of people. Thank you.
So long.
Bye-bye.
Congratulations to our honorees.
It is my pleasure to introduce the DAISY Award recipients from post-licensure and graduate nursing programs. Dr. Moder Al-Krasat, Master of Science in Nursing, Family Nurse Practitioner Specialty. Dr. Alcrasat is a very kind and caring instructor who encourages his students and makes them feel comfortable to ask questions. Students enjoy his teaching techniques and his weekly check-ins to discuss expectations and answer questions. Students shared, he is sincere in his concern for students and their goals. I am more excited than ever to continue my education with Chamberlain University. Dr. Patricia Bailey, Master of Science in Nursing Program, Family Nurse Practitioner Specialty. Dr. Bailey continuously displays care for students and takes her time to work with students individually on their concerns. Students shared, Dr. Bailey is personable and available to talk, treats us as professionals, and is willing to help us achieve our goals. Dr. Bailey shows an interest in her students and a desire to see us succeed. Dr. Park Baholiver from the Doctorate of Nursing Practice Program. Dr. Baholiver consistently demonstrates the teach and care values in his courses and workshops. He dedicates considerable time in his interactions with students, including providing quality feedback and coaching. Students shared, Dr. Baholiver shows all the attributes of caring and patience by allowing students to verbalize their anxiety. He encourages questions and makes the online learning environment engaging and exciting. He brings passion and personality each week. As a mentor and role model, he extends himself by promptly returning calls to students, which is so important to us. Dr. Melinda Barrett, the RN to BSN Completion Program. Professor Barrett is an educator who inspires her students to learn in the online environment. She makes learning fun, interesting, and is beyond caring and compassionate. During the session, a student who faced challenges shared, my family and friends were blown away by her compassion, and so am I. I am forever grateful for her. She truly goes above and beyond for her students, and she should be recognized. Dr. Marcia Bergfeld, Master of Science in Nursing Program, Nursing Informatics Specialty. Dr. Bergfeld truly embraces Chamberlain care and its teach values. She demonstrates care to all she works with and has provided help and support to students that were impacted by health or severe weather issues. Colleagues have commented that Dr. Bergfeld has shown kindness and patience to those needing assistance and support in their educational efforts. Marcia exemplifies very professional behavior in her communication as well as in her work ethic and her quality of work. Dr. Carrie Bush, Master of Science in Nursing Program, Nurse Executive Specialty. Dr. Bush truly embodies our Chamberlain care and teach values. Her supportive nature and student-centered approach helps students feel important and encouraged on their educational journey. Her students love her and commented how supportive she is in communicating with them, making them feel like it is an in-person instead of an online course. One student commented that they were going through a very challenging time, having been assaulted and injured by a patient, and shared, Dr. Bush was there for me when I was thinking of quitting, but she encouraged, pushed, and guided me through the most difficult modules of the course. What a human being. Dr. Sarah Kane, Master of Science in Nursing, Gerontology, Acute Care, Nurse Practitioner Specialty. Professor Kane is amazing and exemplifies the Chamberlain care values. Dr. Kane's care for students is demonstrated and an excerpt from a student nomination. Dr. Kane inspires and motivates me to be a better version of myself as a student and individual. She is an excellent role model for professional nursing and truly cares for and respects her students. Dr. Rodrigo Cid, Master of Science in Nursing Program, Family Nurse Practitioner Specialty. Dr. Cid demonstrates care for his students and goes out of his way to provide a great learning environment. He uses real practice scenarios to guide students to being independent practitioners. Students shared, "Dr. Cid is engaging and invested in our learning." Dr. Cid uses real practice scenarios to guide his students to being independent practitioners. He lifts us up and shows genuine enthusiasm for all his students. Dr. Mariah Hocken, Master of Science in Nursing Program, Family Nurse Practitioner Specialty. Dr. Hocken is an amazing instructor who embraces Chamberlain care in all her interactions with students. She is always there for them, providing support and making students feel comfortable turning to her for questions. Dr. Hawkins' encouragement is outstanding, and students have commented on how motivating her feedback is on assignments. Students shared, "Her compassion for the profession radiates off of her, making her an excellent example of what every higher level nurse should hope to achieve." Emily Nedzwicki, RN to BSN Program. Professor Nedzwicki demonstrates Chamberlain care and models excellence in nursing theory and in the importance of applying evidence-based practice in the clinical and research realms. This professor focuses on using the ANA Code of Ethics and the AACN Essential Competencies in clinical practice. She consistently offers support to students and encourages each one of them to reach out and ask questions. Dr. Jenny Pattison, Master of Science in Nursing Program, MSN Accelerated. Dr. Jenny Pattison embodies Chamberlain care in her interactions with students. Students have commented on how she makes them feel special, and even though it is an online learning format, they know she cares about them and connects with them, even commenting on every post. She goes above and beyond in her support of students by calling and talking with them when they are stressed or anxious, helping them to feel calm, supported, and encouraged. Based on her inspirational language and thoughtfulness, one said, "I wish someday to be like her." Dr. Dana Preston, Master of Science in Nursing, Family Nurse Practitioner Specialty. Dr. Preston demonstrates care for students through her passion for the nursing profession, and advanced learning is exhibited by her continued commitment to helping students achieve success. Her interest in promoting respect is palpable by her continued commitment for student growth and connection on a personal level. Students shared, "She takes time to get to know each student individually and develops personalized attention to help students succeed. My professional growth and development have been thoroughly and positively impacted by her belief in me." Dr. Ann Rydell, Master of Science in Nursing Program, Nurse Educator, Track. Dr. Ann Rydell is a wonderful and caring instructor who has served Chamberlain since its beginning days at Deaconess. The students comment on how they felt so inspired by her because she challenges them to think outside of the box and to not always look for the obvious answer. Dr. Rydell demonstrates Chamberlain care consistently through her encouragement and support of students. And one student shared, "I aspire to be an educator like Dr. Rydell, supportive, challenging, and empathetic. Dr. Lori Rilko, Master of Science in Nursing Program, Adult Gerontology Primary Care Specialty. Dr. Rilko consistently demonstrates care for students. She is dedicated to teaching and encourages students to reach their highest goals. Dr. Rilko is kind and understanding, but she does not let that get in the way of being critical when submitting professional work. Students commented that she is very supportive, respects her students as individuals, and understands their struggles. Dr. Rilko wants her students to succeed, and she is always ready to extend help. Dr. Allison Sabin, from the Master of Science in Nursing Program, Population Health Specialty. Dr. Sabin is a true beacon for Chamberlain Care. Her care for students is exemplified in her engagement within her courses and through her outreach. Students commented on how her support and encouragement of self-care were invaluable to them during their educational journey. A student said, "I have completed my BSN, MSN, DNP, and now postgraduate certificate all through Chamberlain. Through her extraordinary skill in providing support, guidance, and care to students, Dr. Sabin has shown me a role model for professional nursing." Dr. Joanna Shedd, Master of Science in Nursing Program, Accelerated Generalist Specialty. Dr. Joanna Shedd is a kind and compassionate colleague who goes the extra mile when providing Chamberlain care to students. Through her constant support and outreach, students understand and know that she has a vested interest in their success. Students have commented, "I want to be like her when helping patients. I will remember how patient and thorough she was with me when people come to me with questions." Dr. Jacqueline Tibbetts, RN to BSN Program. Dr. Tibbetts is an amazing advocate and is very dynamic with her students. She has a considerable amount of insight and experience to share. By her frequent and encouraging interactions, students have shared that they can tell that Professor Tibbetts wants them to succeed by encouraging them to be the best drivers of positive change in the nursing profession. She exemplifies the idea of becoming a lifelong learner. Dr. Solomon Wiese, Master of Science in Nursing Program, Family Nurse Practitioner Specialty. Dr. Wiese demonstrates care for students and creates a positive learning environment that makes learning fun and interesting. He showcases the Daisy Award values in his daily interactions with students. Dr. Wiese goes above and beyond to ensure his students are successful.
Thank you for joining me today for this prestigious event in honor of Chamberlain University faculty who are being recognized with a Daisy Award. The Daisy Foundation's work is central to our mission at Chamberlain: extraordinary faculty preparing extraordinary students. The foundation honors the nursing profession globally across 4,500 healthcare institutions and nursing schools in 29 countries around the world. Their aims are simple and so profound at the same time. The foundation recognizes faculty who care for students and support them in the way we would all want our nurses to care for our loved ones, with compassion. This honor is especially meaningful given the recent challenges of teaching nursing students in the midst of a global pandemic. The Daisy Foundation recognizes this and wishes to call out those who are instilling compassion during this profoundly impactful time in preparing the next generation of nurses. Congratulations to each of today's recipients on being named a Daisy Nurse Educator. Your university acknowledges you this day as the example of all we aspire to be. We are proud of you and are thankful for the impact you have on Chamberlain University's students.